It would be good.
Debauchery opens things up because you can only have creation through destruction. Now, you don't want to destroy really big things, but you want to break down some barriers every once in a while and use those barriers to build like a nice little fun house.
Smoke weed.
Were you surprised on how many different subcultures there were in Richmond?
There's a lot of stuff that we still don't know about, that we're still looking at. I mean, one of the cultures that we found out about a month ago was drag kings, so like women that dress up as men. I didn't know about that before I started this project. So, and I'm sure that there are many other things that are underground that we don't know about.
One thing that we also learned about just recently was things like LARPers, which is kind of a take on Civil War reenactors or any type of reenactment. Instead of reenacting something that actually happened, LARPers, live action role players, reenact things like Dungeons and Dragons.
Richmond has some of the most talented people, I think, on the East Coast residing in it, and a lot of them don't feel like they have a voice. So in the past, a lot of them have felt like they needed to leave. That's changed now. A lot of them are staying and doing good stuff. So.
And it's really interesting how much that really gets into people and how they find a nice relief from their day-to-day activities. Maybe they hate their job or whatever, but they know that on the weekends they can go home, they can meet with a group of friends and live out a fantasy life that gives them more fulfillment than reality.
And one thing that's interesting with that too is just like a lot of times I'll come home after a shoot and I'll get home really late at like 3 and my roommates will still be up and they'll be like, oh, you know, what were you out doing today? And I'll say, well, you know, tonight I was hanging out with a bunch of people who are really into fetish culture, and they'll get really freaked out. And you just kind of realize the more that you're around these types of things that it's, you know, the word weird is very dangerous. Like, it cuts you off from so many things that, you know, you might be interested to or in or open to, but if you stereotype people to the point where you're not interested in finding out who they really are, you're not going to learn anything.
And the Phoenix, in the heart of Carytown, with just about a mile of upscale retail. Thank you. Are we ready?
We've been basically, I guess you would call it social traveling. That's kind of what we do. Like, we take our camera around and meet people and talk to them and get to know them. We've been doing that for about 2 years, and we're probably 2 years away from our final release date. Post-production, sound design, all of our motion graphics. Motion graphics person has actually started working, but all of the rest of post-production has not started yet. So getting this done is going to be a long process, but it's honestly my favorite part of what I do. I love doing this. I think we both really believe in this project and we're very passionate about it. So
it'll be tight, but the date that we have in mind is the 2010 Summer Festival circuit. So the Sundance, Toronto Film Festival, all the variety of fairly large film festivals. We'd like to hit up that summer circuit in 2010. It'll be a little tight. We really need to get some extra people involved with the post-production process, but if we can push it through on that, that's what we're going to do.
And we definitely want to apply to a lot of the smaller festivals too. There's some really amazing festivals that are just starting. I mean, every city now has its own film festival, so it's definitely something to look into, and we always need volunteers. So if there's anybody that's interested in being involved, we're open to whatever skills you have.
Hey, no plugging.
I just plugged that shit. Take it back!
There's a lot of different cliques that were, and a lot of pretension that was happening that has kind of melted away. Once people kind of interact with each other, especially from different groups, they kind of understand that, you know, everybody's doing their thing, and everybody is, you know, there's people that are very passionate about film, there's people that are very passionate about whatever they're doing, and as long as these different people interact and different circles interact and come to an understanding and realize that they can help each other grow, then, I don't know, I think that that's positive for everybody. The only very negative thing I get is from the old white government.
So, what's next after this project, or have you even thought about it? Or will you guys work together?
We've got a lot of ideas for what we want to do. I mean, we're constantly bouncing ideas off of each other. That, like, creative process does not stop at all.
I think we work fairly well together. It's kind of a give and take relationship. Give a little jab, take a little back.
We're really mean to each other.
It's a love-hate relationship, you know. But no, we work really well together because we both know where we're at, and we both understand each other's sense of humor. So we can crack kind of a bad joke, and even though it may not be kosher, it's not going to offend either one of us.
John's a big douchebag.
The punker scene in Richmond, which is definitely like underground, it's like the world's premier shock rock group, War, is based here, and they have sponsored and helped all these other bands like Avail and Burn the Priest. They're Richmond homegrown, and they are national, international punker acts. I mean, you could go on with stuff like that.
As filmmakers, what influences you? Like, what influences your creativity? The other filmmakers, the things that are going on that you're filming. You know, what are your major creative influences?
I think for me, it's being irritated. Like, when I get irritated by something or I have an idea that won't go away, I am absolutely compelled to figure out why I'm thinking about that or why that bothers me. And I think we both really have like an endless curiosity when it comes to people. So going out there, meeting new people, finding out about things that we didn't know just kind of opens it up more and more and more. So every time you find out something, it's just more like hunger for like learning and getting to know people. So
my main motivation when it comes to film is a medium, and I really want to see the world, but specifically Richmond and Virginia, grow up a little bit. And I think film offers that medium to show people something that they haven't seen before. So it's not like going out and protesting and saying, hey, you need, do this, you need to think this way. It's, hey, look at what other people, look at what other people are doing, look at what other people are thinking, look at what your actions maybe are doing to affect them, and is that really what you want to be doing? Because really you can't force someone to think some way, but you can at least show them with film or with books or any type of mode of communication how you think. And if that rings a tune with them, then they may not change their mind, but they'll at least open up their mind.